Erev Tov Chavrim, I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live, and generally this would actually be running here over on Fact News Network, this particular broadcast here, but I wanted to go ahead and air this here on Israeli News Live. But just so that you guys are aware, definitely check out, get subscribed on Fact News Network on stories like this. We'll be breaking over there, and then we'll do our overview here on Israeli News Live, compiling all the different breaking stories that we have coming out on that channel there. We have a very serious situation, and I have not myself really addressed the coronavirus on Israeli News Live as of yet. And the reason being is because some of the information that I have been receiving, as some of you are aware, there has been one alleged article of a Chinese man that seemed to be an insider that released that this was a biological weapon, and this was what was really going on. So we were holding back. We were doing research with our own sources. We had a little bit of conflicting reports even there until the situation with Iran showed up now, in the community called Combs in Iran. And this is where the mullahs, this is where the most religious of the Persian Empire are trained at. This is like, I guess you would say, the heart of the Iranian machine to be able to deal with the threat that they're facing in the Middle East. This is where all that goes on at. And for the coronavirus to actually strike there really has begun to raise some eyebrows, even with our source in the Middle East there that has shared some of those thoughts there. But also, and I don't have this up yet because this would have been done on our deeper segment on the coronavirus, which would actually air, of course, here on Israeli News Live. And this broadcast here would actually just be on Fact News Network. But I thought we'd go ahead and air it here anyway because I felt like it's really needful that we share this information now. This here is one of the news casts that just came out in Iran, and they are confirming that 2 people have died already. I believe it's actually up to 6 now that have already died from this alleged coronavirus. But I also have other sources, and there's at some point there's just some things I cannot divulge on this particular story here. But the coronavirus, from what it is looking like right now, is not an actual virus. It does look like it's a biological weapon that has been used. The information that came out, and I don't have this up on the screen for you, that was shared on several platforms about an alleged Chinese man speaking about this CIA purchase of this virus, and then of course some kind of gun battle and everything. Some of this may be exaggerated, but the fact of this being a bioweapon may very well be more truth to that than what you can imagine. One source I have said that 70% of the information that was in that document that this alleged Chinese man wrote could be confirmed. There are worse things coming. The United States right now, though, is definitely not the target, but don't think that we're going to be safe forever. They want to get Trump in the White House, as we shared with you. The same I think that was on Fact News Network actually yesterday. I forget it was there or either here one. We were sharing the clips there from the Orthodox Mr. Keeson, Rabbi Keeson, sharing some information that he had been speaking about. Well, he actually addressed the coronavirus as well, and he addressed it more as an attack that was being carried out because, as he considered them, the wicked Chinese had to be dealt with. So that was an interesting comment there in light of the information that's been shared with me when it comes to this alleged virus. So as far as contagious, yes it is, but not like a virus. If I understand right, the way you actually get it is through the eyes. But there again, some of the details are still sketchy, even the things that I have gotten, because some things are coded in order to be delivered to me, so that things are being careful. You know, I know we're watched. We're watched very carefully. And that is because when you tell people the truth, there's a lot of people that just do not like the truth regardless. And so I'm trying to be a little bit more careful too about what we say, how we say it in regards to that. But there's a lot going on, and that's just one thing that I wanted to share with you. It's not a virus. It is a biological weapon. And it's interesting how that it can be made to look like a virus, be made to look like it's spreading as a virus. And of course, with what is going on in Iran right now, it would be believed to be exactly that. But what I find interesting too in Iran is that, we're going to deal with the Houthis as well here in just a moment, is that, like in this case here, one of my relatives living in Qom passed away yesterday at Tehran's Irfan hospital. Here is the information I got from relatives. The 6-year-old has had a similar illness with a cold, fever, cough 8 days ago with no previous illness. Still, they're trying to make it look like a virus, but the point is the area that it was struck at. Now, we're still working on trying to get some information, though, on this particular issue in Combs to see, is it really a virus? Because there is, like I said, there is conflicting reports as far as, is it a real virus or is it a biological weapon? It appears to be that it is a biological weapon, just for the record on our side there. Anyway, let me cover one other thing real quick as well. This is just breaking as well. The Houthi attacked Saudi Aramco facilities in the Red Sea port city of Yanbu with ballistic missiles. The Houthi spokesman said targets were hit with precision and promised further attacks against Saudi Arabia in case of the continued aggression and economic blockade. So again, Iran is definitely keeping the Houthi rebels very well armed. And let me just see if we have anything else on that before we break away from here. Houthis, Saudi, just see if we have what might be the latest going on that. Just to see, okay, don't you see, okay, Iranians. Let's just see here if we got anything else that's going out there. Idlib propaganda falls apart. Iraq regime change 2.0. Houthis attack Saudis with Pompeo present. Oh wow, didn't even know that Mike Pompeo is actually down there in Saudi Arabia. So a lot of things are happening over there, and it seems like that this is being done intentionally. And if Mike Pompeo is in Saudi Arabia, I'm sure they're wanting to bring the Saudis in on the fight against Syria from the southern end. But, you know, from the way that the Saudis hold up against the Houthi rebels, I don't see how the Saudis could really fight anybody without being totally obliterated by their enemy, regardless of how weak they are. But it still would be a diversion. And I'm sure that's why Mike Pompeo is meeting with the Saudis right now, is either to use their country as a launching point for an attack against Syria, or to have the Saudis join in or financially help kick up their part in this war there. Anyway, the Aramco, though, it has been hit. This is just a story that just broke a couple hours ago. And so I'm sure we're going to be hearing more about this as the time goes on. I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live, Erev Tov, in a world of there is Ein Shalom, there is no peace. I hate to say it, friends, just there is no peace. Good evening.